What's up, guys? It's your friend Sean Shoryuken again. One thing about me is that, for better or for worse, I've been playing the Storm series for at least 15 years now, ever since Storm 1. So through countless ninja battles, I have discovered that hidden inside this simple anime fighter are various unique abilities that break the mold of the game. So for today's video, I'm going to separate these unique abilities into two categories. Abilities that appear to be unintentional and abilities that were clearly designed by the developers. So to start off in the unintentional category, this is a glitch that Minato has had all the way from Storm 2 until about Storm Revolution, when they kind of overhauled the game and made a lot of balance changes. We know that his tilt attack, he throws the kunai, and if they hit, he'll instantly teleport to it for a combo. But some kind of coding glitch or something in the game made it so that you can teleport to any projectile that he throws if it hits, as long as you've already thrown the tilt attack. So you'll see here I'm throwing the kunai balloons, the kunai's hit. I'm teleporting not to the marked kunai that he throws with the tilt, I'm teleporting to the kunai. Same here with the ninja tag. You can see I throw the ninja tag, it hits, and I'm teleporting to him way before the kunai even get to him. Of course, then you can do your own combo from that. So not only is this really practical in a match just for hitting the opponent, but it opens up new combo routes for him too. But of course, this doesn't work in Storm Connections anymore, unfortunately. I really liked this ability. I thought it was really unique. I mean, realistically speaking, Minato's going to have everything he has marked with his flying Raijin symbols, right? So a little unfortunate we lost this one. I would like to see this one come back, but at the end of the day, I guess it's a glitch. So I guess CC2 wants their game to be as glitchless as possible. Next one it's also a glitch that has been removed. So you're looking at Storm 3 again. This one was pretty problematic back in the day. So for some reason, every puppet user until about Storm Revolutions or Storm Connections could bring their puppet back up whenever it was knocked. And so if you don't know, the puppets in this game, you can control them automatically. You can move their position independently of yourself for setups and whatnot. And the caveat to that is that the puppets have their own hurt box and they can be knocked down. So if you're fighting a puppet, the goal is to kind of knock down the puppet, and then the puppet user is defenseless, right? But they had a glitch there where you could restand them automatically. Anytime they were knocked down, you could just pop them back up using Shuriken. The way I do it is I hold guard, flick the analog stick to the left, and then throw Shuriken. And for some reason, that will just instantly revive your puppet. So it kind of removed a lot of counterplay for these guys, right? They could, these puppet users are crafty. You guys be careful around. Don't trust puppet players, first of all. That's rule number one. Because the puppet characters are the most glitchy, the most broken, have historically kind of been the most problematic characters in the game if you're playing from a competitive perspective, right? So I think these puppet players have found another way to do this, but this was a very easy way to do it, just to bring your puppet back to life and just put him back in the game. Thankfully, I'm kind of glad it was removed, but I think these guys have a way of doing it still, so just watch out for puppet players. Next up, we got our friend Tobi here. I've covered this one a couple times in my shorts, but as you can see here, Tobi is, for some reason, he has this very unique ability to fly. So just by jumping, Tobi stays in the air a little longer than any other character. And you can hold it to stay in the air longer, but for some reason, if you load your chakra right at the apex of your jump, it gives him an additional boost that lets him stay in the air a little bit longer. And so this is really good if you're just like trying to dodge some attacks, or you're playing keep away, trying to frustrate your opponent, or if you just want to troll, right? Because that's what Tobi's good at. You can kind of just fly around like Batman here. You can see him just kind of floating. He's been able to do this for the entire series. He still can do this to this day. Obviously, you're watching Storm Connections here. But yeah, I'm a very big fan of this ability. It's good for trolling. And if you know anything about the Storm series, you know Tobi has traditionally not been the strongest character. So in the Generations days, when he was probably the worst character in the game, people wouldn't really fight you head on. They would just kind of avoid you using his flight. They would fly around, get under your skin, throw bombs at you, until eventually maybe you did enough damage and he could awaken. And then all of a sudden, he's fighting you a little more normally, right? But yeah, cool ability for Tobi. This next one is the Generations version of Naruto, the version of Naruto that they added in Generations, his KCM Awakening still has his full Generations moveset, all 4 combos included, including, in addition to that, he has his 3 air combos, right? Now, obviously, beginning in Storm 3, they removed side combos, so everyone just has neutral up and down. But for whatever reason, this version of KCM Naruto got to keep his 4 combos. So he's the only character in the game with a side combo anymore. He's also the only character with 3 air combos. No other character has ever had that. So that means this version of Naruto you're seeing right now has the biggest moveset in the entire game with his 4 combos, 3 air combos, 2 jutsu, grab. My theory on this is that CC2 was very proud of the moveset they gave him. And it is a very cool moveset. I think they were very proud of the moveset they gave him, and they couldn't bear to see it change, right? They didn't want to take out anything from this moveset. The animations are too sick. They look too nice. It's too creative. I think in some ways maybe they consider this their magnum opus moveset, and they decided to just keep it the way it was. I also like to believe that maybe they wanted to bring all characters in line with this, give everyone more air combos, give everyone a bigger moveset. It didn't really pan out, but they decided to keep him this way, I think, for that reason. Now, this Awakening itself isn't really all that strong, you know. Having the extra side combo doesn't really bring him up in tier. It's just kind of cool. But it's very good feeling to play this character. He just feels creative, loose. You can do whatever you want, you know what I mean? Very, very good Awakening for stylistic purposes. But yes, when you play this character, you do technically have more options than any other character in the game. All right, so heading into the intentional category, we have the second Mizukage here, Gengetsu. He's a pretty standard range character. He's just going to shoot water at you, but once he awakens and he gets that giant clam out, all of a sudden he has one of the most unique abilities in the whole franchise. And if you know anything about the show, you know the giant clam creates mirages. No one can hit him. Projectiles are just passing through him because obviously no one's really there, right? So in the game, it does the same thing. You're going to see that clone's going to follow you for the entire duration of the Awakening. And everything you shoot, all your projectiles, any jutsu, any long-range attacks, they're going to be redirected to his clone instead. So you're not going to be able... He becomes immune to projectiles, and he's just free to kind of shoot back at you. He can, and being a ranged character, obviously, this is his ideal situation. At this point, your only option is just to get in close and to combo him, which is feasible because, again, he's still not all that great of a character, even with the projectile redirection. But it's simply just one of the coolest abilities, you know? And I don't know why Storm hasn't introduced cool utility moves like this sooner, because typically an Awakening, it's just a stat boost or your moveset's going to change. But there's nothing that really just does anything like this Gengetsu Awakening. So definitely one of the coolest abilities. Definitely cool CyberConnect 2 added this. And, you know, the truth is I didn't even know about this ability until recently, until Storm Connections. And he's been in the game since Revolution. So 3 games later, I just find out he has this. Okay, moving on. We have another Mizukage here, Mei. And she's had this unique ability since they added her in Generations where she can combo the air, and at some point in her combo string, it's going to shoot projectiles at you. See, and they have a lot of stun. They do pretty good damage. They're, you know, a class above your normal projectiles, both in tracking damage and stun, right? So a lot of times, old school Mei players, they would just kind of punch the air, and they would just shoot these water bullets at you. Now, unfortunately... they did remove this in Storm Connections. I think she had it all the way up until Storm Connections. I believe this still worked in Storm 4. But, you know, it's really unfortunate they lost this. This made her really stand out because a lot of characters can do this. They can punch the air to generate projectiles. But Mei's were definitely the strongest. They had some decent tracking and decent stun. And see here in Storm Connections, we still have various characters who, with this ability. Udakata here. He's a ranged character who has ranged combos too, funny enough. His are really strong. They knock you down. They can give you a full combo. And they linger for a long time, so you can kind of set these on the opponent, make them wake up into the bubbles. Nagato over here has had his since Storm 3. You punch the air, he throws out shuriken that are a lot stronger than your normal square shuriken. because they count as they have the same properties as your combos. So they're going to do more damage than stun. Sarada here, hers is really good because she gets it on the second hit. And I think Sarada is actually pretty meta in this game. So you'll see players doing that a lot online. They'll do 2 hits into a dash. Really strong way to get in. But I just don't understand why only the Mizukages were removed. You know, I guess people were kind of spamming it. But really unfortunate that there's still characters with this trick while the Mizukage Mei lost hers. But either way, if you play these characters, just know this is a really good, actually, strategy for taking damage, getting damage off your opponent. Just throwing these extra strong shurikens, basically. And next up, we have Kiba here. Kiba, you know, not much of a Kiba fan, but for what it's worth, he has definitely been one of the most unique characters in the game, you know, and being added in Storm 2, and the game was still super balanced, and they hadn't really fleshed out the mechanics. For Kiba to be as unique as he is was pretty interesting. And you'll see here, what makes him so unique is that he can function pretty independently from Akamaru. And in some ways, I guess he's in that class of kind of like puppet characters, right? Where you're controlling 2 characters at once. And so with Akamaru, you can use his tilt attack to pressure them from a distance. And you can strategically place Akamaru. So that way, when you do your jutsu, when you do Tunneling Fang, you'll be hitting from 2 different directions. So you have several ways of doing that. You can use his tilt to pressure them. You can use his awakening action in Storm 3 at least. Now, he can still do this in Storm 4, but you won't have the instant awakening. And then, unfortunately, in Storm Connections, obviously, we know this tilt has been removed, and he just has Tunneling Fang. You can still do it to some degree, but it was definitely stronger in the earlier Storm games. You can really just fight with Akamaru. You don't even really have to play as Kiba. Yeah, really good set play, very unique, very easy way to frustrate the opponent. You can attack from basically 2 different directions. You know, they didn't really have to do this. Most characters wouldn't be able to do this in the Storm series, but they went the extra mile with Kiba, and so he's a little more fun to play than your average combo rushdown character. Okay, and lastly here we have Guy with what could be probably one of the strongest awakening in the game, probably. He gets a lot of interesting tools. He gets his awakening action, his jutsus change, he gets new combo, a completely different character, right? But this awakening gives him something that no other character gets, and that is the triple jump. So you can see here, you can not just jump 3 times, you can jump in 3 different directions. But it also opens up new combo routes because you can jump 3 times in combo. So you can link your air combo. You can pretty much take them to the sky without even having to chakra cancel, right? And then, of course, since he gets new projectiles, he gets a lot of projectiles in this awakening. Being able to jump and spam those makes you pretty much immortal, right? Because no character is going to be able to get that high up in the first place. You can jump for security, but you can also jump on offense and link your projectiles into each other over and over. And of course, he also gets this grab. And what's so cool about this grab is that not only does it stop time, it is unblockable, but this actually removes their ability to substitute. So there's no other ability in this game that just nullifies substitution. You can normally sub out of everything, but with this, you get 1 free hit to do whatever you want, typically, before they're going to be able to move again. So Guy here, already a really fun character, but the 8th Gates, they really went above and beyond with this character. They gave him just crazy tools that you haven't really seen before. Likewise, very strong awakening. But yeah, that's all I got. I left out Tayuya and Kaguya because obviously they're 2 of the most unique characters in the game, but I feel like just too many people know about those abilities. The Demon Summons and the Universe Shift. Very cool abilities, very cool. I wish CC2 had started implementing more abilities like that earlier in the Storm series. But I wanted to focus on just some very low-key, unknown abilities that maybe you only learned if you have been playing Storm for this long, right? But I hope you guys learned something. I hope maybe you'll implement some of these in your matches. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.